A Super Nintendo Entertainment System came across my desk today with the only description being it doesn't work. Let's start by testing the power supply. According to the inscription on the back of the block, it should output 10 volts, but upon testing is putting out more, which is a bit concerning. Flicking the power button without it being plugged in should discharge any residual capacitors. After plugging it in, the red light demonstrates that the fuse is still intact and the unit is receiving power. That's a good sign. Connecting it to the television, however, does not produce a signal. Let's move on to the RF adapter. If you remember from your childhood, these have always been kind of temperamental. Inspecting the cable, I find what appears to be bite marks, which could compromise the signal. Thing is, it isn't completely clear that this is the source of our problem. Let's look inside by undoing the 4 screws. It appears the coaxial connection is visibly sound, so I turn my attention to the bit and cable. Like I said before, this is a coaxial cable, which means there are 2 connections that need to be kept intact. I splice out the bit and segment and segregate the inner wire, which is wrapped in insulation, from the outer copper mesh. As you can see, I've separated the wires, twisting each together to complete a temporary connection. Back down for testing with the new modification. These RF adapters require the television to be on a specific channel, which for the Super Nintendo is located on the rear of the console. I toggle the channels. Oh, did you catch that? Rewind it. Aha! Zooming in, you can see a stereo 480i signal has been transmitted. But why no game data? Back to the bench to inspect the hardware. I start by cleaning the cartridge with a pink eraser. Previously, someone has used a solution on the pins, which is gumming things up.
Jeez, what the fuck?
Luckily, it completely whisks away with 91% isopropyl alcohol. Onto the console, using a security bit, undo the 6 screws. We can clean loose debris with compressed air. Using isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush, let's get to work cleaning some of that corrosion from the 62-pin connector. Upon doing so, I noticed something that I'd like you to check out. Several of the pins have been bent and displaced. There's one that's even crumpled. This can sometimes happen when people jam cartridges in, or occasionally with the careless use of system cleaners. I work to straighten the pins where possible, but struggle on that crumpled one. Upon testing, predictably, it passes a signal but still won't display any game information. Thankfully, there are sellers out there that offer replacement parts at reasonable prices. So I send away for one. After discharging the capacitors with the power plug out, undo the screws holding the power button. Unscrew the metal shielding and remove the ejection apparatus. Two silver screws hold down that 62-pin connector.
So really the board looks great. Because sometimes you'll see corrosion and that type of thing. Not here.
Okay, I'm just really zoomed in, so
Okay.
I'm just going over everything.
Now these connectors are not marked front versus back, but they do fit either way. So when you get it in properly, it's wise to mark the orientation. Let's pop in a couple screws and test it out. Again, nothing. Alright, let's reverse the connector. If you enjoyed the video or would want to see more videos like it, please subscribe. And thanks for watching.
We got sound? Alright, she's back.
Awesome sauce!
Hey! I got the system working, got all the cartridges working, all the batteries swapped out.
Okay.
The only thing that doesn't work is the mouse.
Okay. Awesome.
So you're not as good as what you say you are.
You're welcome. We need a game.
Whoops. Stop it.